You're going to be like, but Amanda, don't but Amanda me. It's very basic. In order to ignite the voter base that needs to be ignited, we need to have a candidate that they can relate to. This is not about policy and pontification at this point.
I believe it was sometime last week when I released a video discussing how black celebrities like Charlemagne and Diddy have been elevated by mainstream media to be black leaders, at least in their eyes. And the reason they elevate these black celebrities up is so that they can walk black Americans off of a political cliff to just simply continue to vote Democrat without expecting anything in return for their vote. And since that video was released, there have been a multitude of black celebrities that have been pounding the pavement for Joe Biden just because Kamala Harris has been selected as Joe Biden's VP. It's irrelevant that they have no policies for black America. The only thing that matters is that apparently Kamala Harris is black. She went to an HBCU, so we have to vote Biden. And I've seen this over and over and over again by numerous black celebrities, all towing the line for the Democratic Party.
So, the goddamn lady went to Howard University, man. And the lady goddamn AKA, how much more motherfucking urban do you want her to be? Now, if she was in motherfucking Atlanta right now, in Magic City in Blue Flame, drinking motherfucking 1942 every night, then y'all would say she was too motherfucking urban.
There has never been a squeaky clean candidate, even if you don't agree with all of their policies or whatever. You know, she's a sister. She attended Howard University. She's a member of the Divine Nine, and I think that I'm not telling nobody who to vote for. But we sure would like to get Donald Trump the fuck out of the office. So what are we going to do?
But out of all of these black celebrities that are towing the line for the Democratic Party and Joe Biden, attempting their hardest to convince black Americans to vote, even though we won't be getting anything in return for it, as per usual, the one that stood out to me the most was the pitch for black people to vote for Joe Biden by Amanda Seales. And the reason that it's important for me to point out Amanda Seales is because of the fact she is a woman that has made it a point to position herself within mainstream media as if she is some sort of a black authority, black leader, someone that should be taken serious when it comes to issues surrounding black America. I've discussed her on this channel before after she made her appearance on AM Joy discussing A Black Agenda, which is a show that appears on MSNBC. You can see her here on the Washington Post YouTube channel discussing why Joe Biden needs to pick a black woman as his vice president. Once again, the Washington Post is mainstream media. You can also see her here on Angela Rye's podcast. This is called Black Women Speak, the Politics of COVID-19. And on this podcast, you have Angela Rye, Tiffany Cross, Jamel Hill, Joy Reid, and of course, Amanda Seales. So I'm showing you all this to show you right now that Amanda Seales is not the type of actress / comedian that just simply does her job in entertainment and then goes home. No, she is one of those entertainers that makes it a point to not just simply be an entertainer, but let me use my voice to speak for black people. Yet all too often, these black celebrities that want to use their voice on behalf of black people consistently undermine that which black people actually need by way of politics, legislation, and policies. But speaking of policy is something that Amanda Seales is not interested in when it comes to voting for the president of the United States. She's not interested in policy. She's not interested in legislation. And she says this out of her own mouth in her pitch to black America to get us to go out and vote Biden. Now I'm going to play that clip for you right now, and then we're going to come back to the discussion.
Listen, the reason why we need a black VP is because in order for this person to win, Joe Biden, black people got to vote. And the reality is there is nothing exciting about Joe Biden that's going to make black people vote. We need a sister. That's it. It's not any deeper than that. I know a lot of y'all are super smart. You're super informed. You're going to be like, but Amanda, don't but Amanda me. It's very basic. In order to ignite the voter base that needs to be ignited, we need to have a candidate that they can relate to. This is not about policy and pontification at this point. It's really just about marketing to the constituency that we need in order to, at the very least, get us in the very best place to reverse all the fuckery that got down to get us in this place in the first place. I just said place a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we are not discussing policy, then what exactly are we talking about? And look at the way in which she made it a point to dismiss policy. She made it a point to use the term pontificating over policy. Most times when you hear people use that word pontificating in that manner, where you hear her saying, now is not the time for us to be sitting here pontificating over policy, she's disrespecting you. She's slapping you in the face. Now is not the time for you Negroes to want to sit around and pretend and act like you're smart, trying to talk about legislation and policy. You know you're too stupid for that. Just shut up and vote Democrat. That's what she's telling you when she's sitting here saying, now is not the time to pontificate over policy. Stop trying to be smart, you stupid Negroes, and just shut up and vote. If we are not talking about policy, and if that's not the basis upon which we are voting on, then what exactly are we talking about? What are we discussing here? Policy and legislation is the only thing that matters. And that's been the number one issue with black voters over the past 50 plus years, is your willingness to give up your vote for nothing just for the sake of having the lesser of two evils. And that hasn't worked for you yet. But if you leave it up to Amanda Seales and all other black celebrities that are trying to get you to vote for Biden without expecting anything in return, they'll have you voting Democrat blindly for the next 100 years. And Lord knows as a people, we cannot afford that because we have already been voting blindly for at least half of a century. And the only thing that we have to show for it is an ever-growing racial wealth gap alongside with an ever-increasing prison population. And not to mention the fact that the median wealth of black Americans will fall to zero by 2053. And to be honest with you, it's already at zero. It's already at zero. Not only is it at zero, it's in the negatives at this point. Your only option at this stage in the game is to leverage your vote by holding it. If you do not have any specific policies and or legislation that is for the black community, then there is nothing to vote for outside of your local politics that are happening within your city. I do strongly advocate for you to make sure you pay attention to all the propositions and measures that happen locally in your city. But on a national level, when you're talking about the president of the United States, we've been playing this game for a long time now. And you've been playing nice for a very long time, loyally voting Democrat over and over and over again. We're talking about in the 90 percentile area. And this is where we are. Meanwhile, every time you get a Democrat into office, they prioritize other groups over black Americans consistently, giving them legislation and policies that specifically meet the needs of those groups while giving you rising tide lift all ships policies that everyone knows does not work. So to cap this video off, the word of today is policy, policy, policy. If I vote for you, what policies do I receive in return? Because elections are an exchange. I give you my vote, you give me policies in return. If you have no policies for me, I have no vote for you. So with all that being said, I'm your boy Tony Laramie. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. Also, make sure you text tdhiphop to number 33222. That's tdhiphop to number 33222. That way you'll get a direct text notification whenever I release a new video. But it also serves as a protection plan for myself in case YouTube ever gives this channel the axe. I'll be able to send you a direct link to where you can find me next. All social media links will be in the description below as well as pinned in the comment section. And lastly, but certainly not least, for those of you who have been subscribed to this channel for quite some time now and have a love and appreciation for the work that I put in on this channel, the number one way you can show your support to me is through Patreon for only $5 a month. That'll help put me in position to be able to take TD Hip Hop Media off of YouTube. Remember, the goal is to grow independent of YouTube, not big on YouTube. Until the next video, peace.